What's up, back with another one. So today I'm showing you a clip of Joe Budden reaction to Maduro getting captured. Check this clip out.
I said something on the podcast about what was going on in Minneapolis. And the people didn't like that. The audience thought that what I did was wrong. I used my voice wrong, so I went down there to go check it out and got some understanding. But that's not what this is about. This is about Donald Trump.
Yes, and this past weekend, Donald Trump made international news by authorizing strikes in Venezuela, and more importantly, for the news, capturing the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro.
And his wife.
And his wife.
And taking pictures and putting them on the internet.
Taking the pictures, putting them on the internet, bringing them to New York, where they're now.
Making them do the perp walk.
They did a full perp walk. I mean, it's the wildest I've ever seen. I woke up, again, I was out of the country, and I woke up, and actually Amani hit me and was like, you know, did you hear what happened to Maduro? And I thought you, honestly, I thought you were reading like a fake meme or one of them fake news outlets, because I was like, there's no way like a president would capture another president, you know what I mean, take photos and bring them to the country. And that's exactly what happened. And so this is crazy for a couple reasons. Okay. But just one more thing, actually. The Trump administration is arguing that Maduro's not a legitimate president and that he's the head of a narco trafficking operation who's bringing him to the U.S., and that's why he's justified in capturing him and bringing him to the United States. This is some wild.
Because that's what he's on trial for in the U.S., right? Drug trafficking.
Yeah, right.
All right, got it.
The problem with this,
that's so crazy.
First is, it is against international law to capture the heads of state of other countries and bring them into your courts for domestic charges. You can do that through international means. That's what the International Court of Justice is for. If it's a wartime, that's what the International Criminal Court is for. You can't just go around capturing people, because then every time you don't like somebody's leader, you can say when they broke a law, you can just go take them, and it's just big bank take little bank. You can just go around, might makes right, taking everybody's country over. That's why it's illegal. And the idea that Maduro is not a legitimate leader is not fair, right? Did he win that election fair and square? Maybe not. You know what I mean? But that ain't our issue. It's not our business. It's not our problem. We should have nothing to do with the internal politics of nobody else. And this is not about order. A month ago, Donald Trump pardoned a Honduran trafficker.
Lord. Honduran.
Yeah. Sorry. so clearly, that ain't what this is about. This is about Venezuelan oil. This is about power. This is about control. And the person that they're trumpeting as the real leader of Venezuela, Machado, she's a hardcore right-wing pro-Trumper. And that's what you're starting to see all around the world. It's all these right-wing Trumps. We call right-wing authoritarians coming up in a whole lot of countries, from Greece to Italy to Argentina to, I mean, we're going down the list, right? And so this is part of a bigger problem we see in the world. So Trump needs to be held accountable, you know, but in the United States, we're arguing about the wrong. We're arguing about whether this is a war or not, whether he had needed congressional authorization. I'm saying we as the United States can't keep doing this. But the last thing I'll say is, we can't pretend that this is new. The U.S. has a long history of minding other people's business, of taking other people's leaders out, of putting in puppet governments, we just don't usually do it as blatantly as this.
Yeah.
But if you go to Cuba, if you go to Cuba, you go to Grenada, you can look anywhere in the Middle East, you see the same thing happening. The U.S. has been doing this for a very long time. So it's dangerous. So don't act like this is some Trump or some Republican. They all do it.
Got it. I agree.
Didn't the Biden administration put a bounty on the president's head of Venezuela?
I know there was a bounty in August of 2025, which was $50 million from Trump, but it wouldn't. I don't know the Biden question, so I can't say. But it would not shock me. It would not shock me if there was a bounty. I didn't know it was Biden, but if it was, that doesn't shock me. Biden is not above this. Biden is presided over some of the worst we've seen, as have Clinton and Bush and Obama with drone strikes in Yemen.
The point I was trying to make, that so you don't think that this gentleman is an issue? You think that it's just to cover up, or as a smokescreen because we want the oil? You don't think that he did anything?
He may have, but the problem is, if I say I'm going to lock up this person because they're violating some law, or then what happens when Russia says, well, Joe Biden is a war criminal?
So the military captured the Venezuelan president Nicolás Maduro, and the Joe Budden podcast focus on how brazen the operation appears on the world stage, including questions around sovereignty, legality, and geopolitical fallout. This isn't just politics, it's a moment with global implications.
Or, you know, for what happened in this country or that country, or George Bush started a whole fake war in Iraq. He's a war criminal. Let's go get him and Cheney and snatch him up, right? You could do this with anybody. You could do it with Clinton. You could do this with anybody. And so it's a slippery slope. This idea that he's a bad guy and we can go get it. And then the U.S. likes to pretend like they're doing it for democracy. Like we're just trying to save the people.
We're trying to help their country out.
Exactly. And are there Venezuelans who are happy that Machado is gone? Yes. Just like there were Iraqis who were happy that Saddam Hussein is gone. But the ends don't always justify the means. Yes, the world might be better without Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden in it, but that don't mean you get to decide that.
Right.
That's all. So this is getting crazy, and now Donald Trump is feeling himself. He's threatening Mexico. You know, Colombia. You know, it looks like he's widening his scope, and that's dangerous for the whole world.
Tripping.
He's bugging.
It's power tripping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I listened to his advisor the other day say that who the hell is Denmark to claim Greenland?
Exactly.
Greenland should be a part of the United States. Like, I think we just setting a real touchy precedent.
He was saying something about Canada, wasn't he?
At one point.
Yes.
Yeah,
51st state.
Yeah. It's scary, bro.
Domination, man.
At the end of World War I, now I don't want to get nerded out on this, but at the end of World War I, we started something called the League of Nations for a reason.
Exactly.
The idea was that we no longer will have empires. British Empire, Ottoman Empire, Roman Empire. The idea was that now we have nations, and eventually nation states have borders. And because back in the day, you could grow your empire just by winning the war.
Yeah, or taking over, invading.
Invade and take it, or go to war and win the war. You get. Now, even when you win the war, you're not allowed to take people's land.
No, I understand.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's illegal to do that. After World War II, that became even more clear, and there's all these international laws that deal with this and that make that very clear. The idea here is that big countries can't just take over little countries.
But who control the international laws? Like who put them in play? Who's the
and how do they change them?
Over it? Yeah.
Let's say, like, over here, the Supreme Court, we can have some. Is there a pardon my ignorance, but is there a court or something that can now change?
Well, that's where the United Nations come in. The League of Nations after World War I became the United Nations, which the U.S. wasn't a part of, the League of Nations. And basically what happens is we as an international community can decide what's legal or not. So the International Court of Justice comes out of the United Nations. So the idea is that we can decide these laws and decide what's fair. And then to your question, we have to enforce it. So international law is only as good as its enforcement. So like Benjamin Netanyahu right now has a warrant out for his arrest. He just came to New York, walked through the street. Nobody stopped him.
Nobody gonna say.
He flew over all these other countries that also are supposed to be arresting him. They're not going to do it because they don't want to. The International Criminal Court, sometimes we joke and call the ICC the ACC because they only seem to arrest African people. It's like the African Criminal Court because they'll quick to arrest somebody from this country, that country, but never Europe, never China, never Russia, never us.
What's up? So what are my thoughts about this? Here's the thing. The United States capturing the president of Venezuela is an extremely brazen move, and Joe Budden breaking it down puts that into perspective. This was not a quiet diplomatic situation or a behind closed doors negotiation. This was a direct action against the sitting leader of another country, which sends a strong message to the rest of the world. Regardless of how anyone feels about Nicolás Maduro, removing a nation's leader like that challenges long-standing ideas about sovereignty and international boundaries. Budden focused on how this move signals that the United States is willing to act without hesitation when it believes its interests are involved. Other countries are watching closely because if it can happen to Venezuela, it raises questions about global power dynamics everywhere. This is why people are calling it bold and aggressive without needing dramatic language. Make sure to drop a comment, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.